European Affairs Analyst Klaus Jurgens joins us now from Innsbruck in Austria. Klaus, the immediate response has been pretty extraordinary, especially when you see how quickly that aid reaches the ground.
Yes, a very good day to you. Basically, I'm still lost for words how to comment adequately about such a human catastrophe. But there is perhaps, and we saw this amazing rescue operation a few minutes ago. It is absolutely wonderful. Now, yes, European nations and the international community, but if I may focus briefly on the European response, were very fast to get their act together in the face of such catastrophe. And there are two different approaches. One, of course, is directly by governments, either by donating much needed financial resources or by arranging government-trained rescue operations, including rescue dogs and the dog handlers. Some countries are sending almost 100, others more, others less. It is amazing. There is literally solidarity going on from the side of so many governments. Austria as a case in point, from where I make my modest comments. Many other countries, over 50 by now. It is fantastic. We've actually teams on the ground. And as my dear colleague said, almost 100 helping in any other way they can in total. Now, but there is a civil society aspect as well. My colleague just showed the images from Belgium. Similar things are noteworthy here, for example, where I am in Tyrol in Austria. A full truckload of much needed blankets, baby food, what have you, were already dispatched to Turkey by means of a lorry. Now the response is so big that for a few hours this donation center had to be shut down because there were too many things, and now the second lorry will soon depart. The National Sports Center in Innsbruck is same as in Belgium, accepting donations, again ranging from baby food to blankets to anything what is needed. And what the interview partner in Belgium just said so correctly, we should all listen to Turkey's government and Affad in particular to say what is mostly needed, and we have to start with doing this. But then it is an ongoing support mechanism which European nations and civil society must establish. This is not over in a day, not in a week, not in a month. Turkey and its citizens need ongoing help and support. But I am relieved that European nations were fast and quick and professional and showing a heart and solidarity towards Turkey in these unbelievably devastating times.
Yeah, though, Klaus, you have to wonder, how do governments afford it? Especially when you see so many disasters year to year now. I mean, just in a year, 2 years' time, we see unbelievable numbers in aid value going to Afghanistan, going to Pakistan after the floods there, and that list goes on and on. So do we just say, well, you know, when there's a human need, that funding is always going to be available, it's going to be made available? Where does it come from?
Well, it's a very interesting point. Some countries seem to prepare better in this sense, if this is the right word, by foresight analysis. Coming back to Austria, Austria has a special catastrophe fund, and out of this fund 2 days ago has allocated 3 million euros to be handed over to Turkey's authorities. So it seems some countries really have learned the lesson. As you said, disasters happen, wars unfortunately break out, natural disasters, and when the coffers are empty, you can't just print the money. As I've said, some countries seem to have prepared better for a world changing, geopolitically changing, but nature is changing, not only mentioning climate change. And yes, many countries are donating financially. I would not say these funds are endless. And we must be honest, of course, in some societies, questions are asked. We have an energy energy crisis. We just survived a pandemic. We can't afford our bills anymore. And here comes the word solidarity back into play. Our societies must learn that whilst even if we have a problem at home, if there is a bigger problem abroad, we must help. But yes, these funds will not be endless or limitless, unfortunately. But they are needed now, immediately. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at least they seem to be offered immediately without question. We see the world providing constant aid, for example, to Ukraine, because a lot of that is military aid. That ends up being highly controversial. In fact, as we're speaking to you, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is speaking at the UN. I mean, that's been a repeated ask for assistance. But in a situation like this, where you just see human suffering, you see an act of God, an earthquake, that aid comes without any kind of strings attached. We've even seen this aid cross political ties, you know, put all differences aside, it's going to flow in.
Yes, that is, let's put it like this, light at the end of the tunnel. As I've said, seldom, but in this situation, I'm literally very often lost for words. Now, European governments have very quickly offered financial help. The European Union is considering to setting up a special fund. You mentioned Ukraine. Yes, of course. No one is belittling the human suffering in Ukraine. Of course not. But as it so happens, sadly so happens, there are other crises and human disasters occurring, and they must be taken care of as well. We can't just say only one issue is now on our minds. If the governments can't do it by themselves, civil society, enterprises, business, churches, you name it, social corporate responsibility, everyone should step in. Every company can easily donate a little bit out of their profit margin, multinational companies based in Europe in particular, and there are already laudable signs that exactly this is happening. I think if governments and civil society work hand in hand, much needed help can arrive in Turkey much faster.
All right, Klaus, excellent to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.